Welcome, witches. We finished a family run today, which is always really fun. Me and my two oldest and my husband did our local turkey trot. It's a 2-mile race. That being said, I have my computer down below me. We are going to pick out another run, but this one gets to be a family run, which always makes it super fun. We did a family run. It's only 2 miles, and I believe it's the new moon now. So let's summon our fate. Shoulder Season by Christina Clancy.
Shoulder Season is about a small town Wisconsin girl who's still grieving her mom when her friend convinces her to audition as a Playboy bunny. It follows her into a world that's nothing like the one she grew up in. Okay, witches, first update. This is very slow in the beginning. We're definitely doing a lot of character building. I have really no big thoughts or reactions yet. I'm just kind of reading at this point, but we're definitely building a clearer picture of who Sherri is. Sherri's been very sheltered in her small town. She also just lost her mother, so she's grieving. She's in this kind of weird place. She's now become a bunny, and that world is vastly different than the one that she grew up in. And that's definitely because we've built kind of her innocence and her naivety and just her lack of exposure to the world. It's definitely a huge moment that she's taking this leap and that it's actually becoming. And how are these worlds going to collide? That intrigue is definitely building and getting you kind of interested in seeing what is next to come. So yeah, it definitely just feels like it is building the story for the next sections of what is going to happen.
Okay, this is weird, but I'm at my in-laws because it's Thanksgiving today, but I have been having plenty of time to read Shoulder Season. Sherri's now been kicked out and sent back to her hometown for gaining too much weight as a bunny, and you're really seeing Sherri think that she's finding her place and where she thinks she fits in. However, what we're finding out is what you're seeing is these people don't really have the best intentions for her or truly looking out for her. And she's kind of losing herself. So now we're going back to her hometown and bringing those two lives together. Is she going to see what she's missed? Is she going to want to go back? Is she going to want to stay? Intriguing, but you're seeing her loss of innocence, but she doesn't realize how much she's changed, but you do. And I think this is kind of the moment where you're going to see, will she see how different her life is? But she's really starting to make kind of poor choices and put herself in positions that maybe she shouldn't. And definitely not making the greatest choices, but you're seeing that evolution of Sherri now through her time as being a bunny. So let's go finish reading. Witches, we finished Shoulder Season, and also I could have finished this yesterday, but there was no way I wasn't coming to my aunt's house, sitting in her little reading shack, which is not called Reading Shack. She needs a name for it. So comment name suggestions down below. There's no way I was not coming here, finding some time to read in here, and of course film an outro because it's so cute. So let's get into my final thoughts. By the end of this book, Sherri is definitely losing herself in the bunny life and kind of spiraling, and you're kind of seeing how kind of unpositive it was in a weird way, but there's definitely some positives she's getting out of her experience as a bunny. She's definitely not making smart choices. She's living a life a little too chaotically, and one night tragically it does all catch up to her. I won't spoil what the event is, but there's a big event that happens and it spirals her down deeper, but that's ultimately the catalyst that brings her back to almost reality and refinding herself. I think it was a really good story. And I also liked summing up and getting to get a wrap up of where a lot of the characters, a lot of the bunny characters were when you saw this. So I do think this was really well written, really fun. Which brings us to who's this for? This is definitely for somebody who likes very character-driven stories, maybe stories about women finding kind of some strength in who they are, discussions on women's bodies as not necessarily like a line of work, but in terms of being kind of their focus and their pride, because obviously she's having to weigh herself every week. Like inherently that's going to be driven into your brain. She talks about that, especially in some other situations. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's definitely some situations where she, like as she gets older, realizes just how ingrained some of that stuff became in her. And so a lot of that, and just really character driven stories who discuss a lot of that. I think this was really well done. Very relatable, I think, especially here's this. This is for a person who likes very character driven stories, focuses on maybe some of the things that women are forced to be faced with all the time, weight, their beauty, all of those things, but then also who wants that done at a later stage in life. So not like a young teen coming of age, becoming adult 20s, and then kind of growing up and seeing 50s, 60s, like much later in life. And I think that was well done, well executed. I think it was really fun. A little bit slower than some of the others, but definitely a good read. Definitely a lot of emotional, messy stuff like that. No big twists, not necessarily fast paced, none of that. Just really character driven.
Next week, we spin the wheel again and see where the miles takes us. And honestly, I have no idea what the next pick will be, but that's half the fun. See you in the next Run Roulette. Bye, witches.